Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to our show. You know, Jason, you've been involved in a lot of different businesses. Mm-hmm. You have a goat farm.
I do.
And you have a crematory, a pet crematory.
I do.
And you have been involved in another small business, a funeral home. You've helped your children raise eggs for sale. So you've been involved in a lot of different parts of small business.
Small business, but then I think we're going to talk about how to protect that small business.
Yes.
Well, you know, we have other things that need protected besides our business interest. We have our toys. We have our home.
Yes.
We have our automobiles.
Yes.
And unfortunately, sometimes things happen.
Catastrophes happen. Yes. As a matter of fact, yesterday was a prime example. We had a tornado, not near us, but
in the area.
Yeah, and those things happen. And today it's our pleasure to present an individual that has had a lot of background in small business, a lot of background in running a farm, a lot of understanding about what it takes to help another individual.
And we talk about running a farm. I believe they owned a dairy farm, and that's serious work.
Well,
I know you don't understand that, Pat, but
70 cows. I mean, you know, that would take you about
5 or
20
10
minutes to milk 70 cows.
Yeah. I'll let you do that once.
Anyway, it's our great pleasure to present Loralee Carmichael. She's with the Carmichael agency with Farmers Insurance. And here's your opportunity. Do you know how the jingle goes?
Farmers? No.
Oh.
Do you?
Not necessarily,
See,
but
you
I
tried
know.
to put me on the spot and it didn't work, did it?
Well, you always wanted to have a singing career. But anyway, it's our great pleasure to welcome Loralee. They have a grand opening of their business. Loralee, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Now, I don't know what to think about these guys so far, so you're going to have to help me here. I don't know whether to believe what they tell me or not.
We won't lead you too far astray, I promise.
All
Yes.
right. I think I can handle it.
Loralee, tell us about yourself. You know, you had a chance to share with us, and boy, you come with a really strong background.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm too good about talking about myself. But John and I have been married 43 years. Our first date was church that morning and milking cows that evening.
Wow.
So he broke me in right to see if I was going to go to the barn with him. We have always been in business together. I know a lot of times people say, well, how do you work with your husband? But it's always worked for us. We had the dairy farm for 26 years. We did that. Then we got involved with John Deere. We had John Deere products on the farm, John Deere Green, and we did that for 17 years. And our family was involved in that business also, our two daughters and some other family members. And then we decided to get out of that, thought we wanted to retire. That worked out for about 2.5 months. And it wasn't that I got bored. There's always plenty to do on a 200-acre farm, but I missed people. I really love being around people and involvement with the community, which we didn't have a lot of time to do before because of the dairy farm. You know, it's not like you and Jason said, it doesn't just take 20 minets to milk 70 cows.
Okay, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
that's how much break you get in between milking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do
barely.
morning milkings, you have 15-minute break, then you got the afternoon milkings.
The only time I remember milking cows was going on one of my aunts and uncles' dairy farm up in Wisconsin. And they used these big round tubes, and they were able to, and it looked so easy. So,
It's better than doing it by hand.
yes,
Yes.
I would imagine so. But in between all those things that you did, you also studied for your level 6 broker's insurance, and that. Tell us about the level 6. What does that allow you to do?
Your Series 6 and 63 license enables you to sell some what they call variable products, which is some mutual funds, and try to help people plan for their retirement so that they don't run out of money before they need to be running out of money.
I understand. I understand. And just out of curiosity, if I'm a 25-year-old, how much money would they probably need to have when they retire at 65?
Well, projections are, I mean, I couldn't just tell you that off the top of my head. I would be glad to set up a time that we could meet and discuss that, Pat. But I know you're only, what, 39?
And holding.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
something
we
like
could,
that. Yeah.
But
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's the number one thing that people worry about nowadays is
Sure.
Are they going to run out of money
Right.
before they pass?
I had heard that you need a really good investment strength of around $600 to $1 million.
Yeah, and
Now, I know there's a lot of different figures out there, but it
Right.
really depends upon a set of circumstances.
Yes.
Well, they get back to your lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, how many toys do you have? You
I have my little
gotta
scooter.
support those toys.
I have my scooter. Do we count wives as? No. I'm thinking
I'm not
something.
going there, Pat. I'm smarter than that.
Okay. But investment is an extremely important part.
Oh, definitely.
When we think of an insurance agency, we just think of protection.
Absolutely.
But really, it encompasses more.
It does. It does. Something that's dear to my heart and something that a lot of, especially younger people, don't think about too, Pat, not only retirement, but as life insurance. Like you and Jason were talking, you protect your toys, you protect your house, you protect your cars, but how do you put a value on your life? What if something happens to, your husband or your wife? And
That's true.
that's something that is a passion for me, is trying to protect these families, especially with young kids,
Well, that's true.
against the loss of one of their loved ones. What would happen to them?
Sure. And as Jason and I were discussing, catastrophes can happen at
Absolutely.
any time.
I work with a gentleman here in the county. He calls them bumps in the road.
Interesting.
I always refer to it as life happens.
That's right.
Well, let's take Jason's goats for a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
From the time that they are born, and you get to deliver them or help deliver them, so you're their surrogate grandfather.
Okay.
From the time that they are born, let's see, you have already invested in a vet bill, I'm going to assume. Probably some antidotes or medicine or
Okay.
things of that nature. As they get older and older, you have invested in feed. You make sure that they're warm during the cold, and so I would venture to say that you have put in a lot of money to all of the different goats, and you would be considered a farmer. Well, let's think the unthinkable, and something happens where you lose that herd. That's why you also need insurance. Is the fact that you have invested
Absolutely.
lots and lots of time and energy, and basically you do it because of the love you have for goats.
Sure.
Well, that's what I've been telling people. but in the farming world, since you have been on the front lines, you have you have seen that the farming community, you put a lot of money in first.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully you recover those funds. So that's why farmers insurance was sort of developed, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Back in 1928, there were two farmers that got together and couldn't find anybody to insure their vehicles, actually. And that's how farmers insurance got started.
I remember 1928 very well, but you know, that's beside the say. But it is true. You know, in 1928, there was a lot of risk taking, and at that time we started having the Dust Bowls and the different problems. So these two gentlemen, you know, created their own insurance.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the different lines of insurance that Farmers offers.
Okay. Farmers is, of course, multi-line. They're the third largest insurer in the United States.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sure everybody's probably seen Professor Burke on TV. He makes us smarter about our insurance, okay? And that's what we hope to do at the Carmichael Agency. So many times we sit down with people and we find that they don't have the right coverage. They may have too much. That's usually not the case, but usually, you know, or they're not aware of, you know, the different types of insurance and the extra coverage that they need on things, not just, you know, like you were talking. We have a lot of family farms here in Gallia County, and there's a lot of them that want to pass those farms on to, you know, maybe the oldest son or the oldest daughter, whoever it is. And that's something else that I've worked with a lot of families here in the county about, is how to pass that on to that oldest child or whatever, but be fair. Let's say there's 3 kids in the family. The oldest son wants to take the farm over. The mom and dad feel like that they need to be equal with all those kids, and we have ways of doing that. We have ways of equaling that out through life insurance, so that they don't feel like they're leaving one of the kids out if you know, something happens, and a way to keep that farm in the family. I know our farm's been in the family since 1921, and when John's mom and dad passed away, it passed to John and I. We were the ones that wanted to continue the family farm, and you know, luckily we were able to do that.
Hey, and most of the time when you pass a farm down to the next generation, you know, people are really good. But sometimes you run into a problem where there's a little bit of infighting.
Yes.
And there's nothing worse than watching something that has been built all of a sudden be destroyed because...
Yes.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do for your family is prepare for your own death. You know?
Yes.
Coming back from the funeral side of me, you know, that's always important on the funeral industry.
Yes.
You know, that's a very difficult time already. You just lost someone that you care deeply about, and then you have all these decisions to make.
Absolutely.
You know, and when we're under pressure, we don't always make the best decisions.
Right.
So to set up an appointment, to go through that process and consider all your options well ahead of time is really peace of mind for yourself, but it goes a long way to take care of a lot of family issues.
Absolutely.
That is true. You know, one of the things that you stressed just a few minutes ago while we were dining, you had stressed that trust is extremely important when you're servicing your customers.
Yes. That's something, even, you know, when we had the John Deere, Pat, that we really, you know, I feel like people, you know, entrusted their, I mean, in a way it was their lives, because we wanted to, you know, we wanted to sell them a product that would hold up to whatever they needed it to do and not, you know, get injured or whatever using it. And that is something, you know, integrity, dealing with people that have integrity, dealing with people that you trust. And that's a big thing in you know, the insurance industry now. It's a shame that, you know, sometimes you feel like you can't trust people, but you know, I try to instill that in our employees also. We've got a couple employees there at the agency, but we try to make sure that people are taken care of, and we try to make them part of our family almost.
I think that's very important. And the one thing that I like about Farmers Insurance, you know, there's many insurance companies have been starting to get it right.
Yes.
You don't just hire a bunch of newbies and say,
Right.
there's a door, come back when you get a sale.
That's got a lot of insurance companies in trouble.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Yes.
And Farmers Insurance sort of does it in a way in which they interview the prospective people. They want a certain kind of individual
Yes.
that will honor their name.
Yes.
And I know that the process that you went through was not easy.
No.
You had to prove to them that you were worthy.
Yes.
And that's what's important in business. Because let's face it, when Jason or I come to visit you, we're putting a lot of faith. You know what you're doing, and we can trust you.
Yes. Yes, that's that. Like I said, I mean, I guess I kind of put myself in my client's shoes, you know, to again, like I'm sure you've both heard, treat people like you want to be treated, and
Yes.
that's what we try to do. Is make them part of the Carmichael family. They're at the agency, part of the farmers family, and that's something too, Pat, that you brought up. Farmers, they actually talk about the farmers family when we joined, because we talked to some other agents and different people before we you know, did this business venture, and there was no one that told us that, you know, they all mentioned the farmer's family and how, you know, it's very supportive of the new agents coming in, and it's been a wonderful experience so far.
I bet it has. You know, coming from the John Deere dealership, it's all been tangible.
Yes.
Coming from a farm milking cows,
Yes.
that is all tangible. To all of a sudden, you're now selling ideals.
Yes.
And the ideals are basically, we will protect you when you need us. And hopefully you'll never need us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the insurance.
Yes.
We're buying to help the risk.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your customers. Do you only service farmers?
Oh no, no. That's something that happens, Jason. A lot of times they think, you know, people
Right.
think that we're, because it's farmers insurance, we're geared more towards just farmers, but absolutely not. Farmers has a huge presence in like Columbus. That's where our home office is up there for the state of Ohio. And they have they're very prominent in the bigger cities. They actually started out in California and moved eastward, where most companies, you know, start in the east and move west. They're a little bit different that way, kind of like the Carmichaels are a little bit different, I guess. But this business is just, I guess, like I said, I have a passion for it. I enjoy it so much. I enjoy working with the people, helping the people, the community involvement that I've been able to establish since we started this business too is something I really, really enjoy.
Well, we've talked about your customers. Let's talk a little bit about your employees. Who do you have in the office working with you?
I have my husband of 43 years, of course, John, and then we have our daughter Renee. She's our oldest daughter, and she's, I think I'm allowed to say this, she's horse crazy. She shows quarter horses. Then we have a young lady that was an employee of one of the local banks that we recruited, and she does a wonderful job, very caring. And then we just hired a lady that's been gone from Gallia County for 14 years.
Wow.
And she's back in Gallia County now. Her mom and dad used to own a flooring business on 3rd Avenue, Karen Tabor. She's back with us. And the first day that she worked for us, we said, well, we don't have a lot of walk-in business, but since we've moved to our new location, we are having more. We had 6 customers in that day, and she knew 5 of them. So, and everybody, it seems that she calls on the phone, she knows one way or another. And then Christina, the other lady that I was telling you about from the bank, she has a lot of ties with people from the bank. So worked out real well. There's 5 of us, and right now, you know, I'm not saying that we won't grow in the future, but right now, you know, we can take care of business
Sure.
right now.
And you've got a very nice new location.
Yes, thank you. It was quite an undertaking for a while. It seemed like we were never going to get done, but we remodeled a home, and we've got 5 offices, a reception area, a nice conference room that if anybody in the community ever does need a meeting room, it holds probably about 15 comfortably.
Very good.
That would be available too if anybody would like to use it.
And that's at 579 Jackson Pike.
570, right beside of the big pink building. They call it the License Bureau, and the health department's there, so it's very accessible.
And that's in Gallipolis, Ohio.
Gallipolis, yes.
And Gallipolis.
Across from the Highway Patrol Post.
Yes.
Very good.
You might know that better.
No,
or the dollar store.
I try to speed right by them. The faster I go,
I understand.
And the Gallia County Chamber of Commerce is going to be doing a ribbon cutting.
Yes. Friday, next Friday, the 10th, we're going to have, beginning at 11:30, we'll have some light refreshments and everybody, for anybody that wants to stop by. And then we'll do our ribbon cutting at right at noon, and of course take some pictures. And then we're going to continue on until that evening till 5. And then again, we're going to do that again starting at 9 the next morning to 1. And we're also going to have a live remote there with the local radio station.
That's probably with Dave Diddle.
Oh, yes.
He is a great Sunny 93.
Yes.
No, not
No,
anymore.
not anymore.
They are now the
Wolf.
Oh,
They're
man.
93.1 the Wolf. And they howl too, but I'm not going to howl anymore.
It's probably Dave. It's probably not
Dave is he's a fantastic individual.
Yes, he is.
I really like
Yes.
Dave.
We worked with him a lot too when we had the dealership. We worked with him. So.
We have about just a few more minutes, but let's talk a little bit about the dealership.
Okay.
When you talk about a John Deere dealership, I'm assuming you're talking about the big combines and the big tractors.
Well, no, not for Gallia County anyway.
Okay.
We did sell maybe a couple used combines, but it was mostly the smaller equipment. A lot of versatility here in the county with, this gentleman has his goats, and we have people that have sheep, and we have people that have hogs, and make hay, raise soybeans, raise corn. So it was more the smaller horsepower tractors. A lot of lawn tractors, a lot of just small lawn tractors. That was our main, it kind of flip-flop actually from when we started. We did about 70% agricultural equipment, 30 small, and when we quit it was about 60% small and 40% ag equipment, so it kind of flip-flopped.
Oh,
But then a big set of that is also all your implements you sell.
Oh, yes, yes.
and when you say implements, you mean you're talking about City Boy here.
Oh, plow. Well, not very many people really plow anymore. A lot of haymaking, a lot of baling equipment.
Oh, okay.
Rakes and tedders and balers and stuff like that. So
Blades and forks. And
yes, front loaders.
spoons.
Almost all the tractors had loaders on them that we
I
sold.
haven't seen a spoon on one yet. I've seen a few scoops, but no spoons.
And yeah, Mike is letting us know our time is winding down, but I'm really fascinated with cows.
Okay.
And I know that you've had 18 years or more.
Well, 26 in the cow
26
in the dairy business.
in the
yes.
dairy business, etc. Do you milk them twice?
Yes, twice a day. Some
Twice a
people
day.
3, but we just did it twice a day.
Wow. And I'm assuming that it's all electronic.
Not all.
No?
Not all, but it is. They have robots that actually milk cows now. We never had that, but
That would be interesting.
it's all the other stuff that goes with it, Pat. The cleaning up and the raising the calves and
Calling them in, feeding them, cleaning behind them.
Exactly. By the time you get done, it's time to start all over.
Wow. And
But it's great exercise, Pat.
Oh,
You
yes.
really
I
should
would-
try it sometime.
well, I'll turn on the television set and I'll watch someone do that.
Or you could do a YouTube video. And
That's right.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Pat, I do have some friends that still have dairy farms.
I think
if you
it's
would
great.
like to go out and watch or help, I'm sure they would
you
accommodate
should
you.
experience that at least once in your life.
I did.
Well, that's right, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Wisconsin. And so the milk that comes from the cows, the contented milk that comes from the cows, is it processed into gallon milk, or how does that process happen?
When the process happens, when it goes into what we called our bulk tank at the farm, okay, it was kept at a certain temperature.
Oh, okay.
Then a big truck came and got it, pumped it from the end of the tank into the truck, and it went to Ours went to Maysville, Kentucky, actually. It used to go to Charleston, West Virginia, and then it went to Maysville. So and then, you know, it's made into different products once it gets there. But yeah.
When I was a young lad growing up, we had a ice cream facility, and they called a number of different farms to help them with their ice cream because they needed a lot of milk products and things of that nature. So just to sort of sum up, you've had a lot of experience involved in the farms.
Yes.
In helping other farmers use equipment, and now you're helping them with some of the important issues, and that is protecting their product and their lives and things of that nature.
Their investments, yes.
Their investments. So you really seem to know quite a bit. How can they get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with us through the local phone number, which is 740-446-4677.
And I think it's right on the, and then we
It's
also
on the
have
screen.
Your website.
Website's right there, yes.
Fantastic.
You know, like I told you, I think when we were dining today, you know, we prefer to have personal touch with our customers. So, you know, we can do emails, we can do texts, but we can also do face-to-face.
And
so when everyone renews their driver's license, they ought to just stop on it.
They can just come right across. They can even walk right across the lawn, and they'll be right there. We'll be ready to serve them.
Probably even have a fresh cup of coffee waiting on
Fresh
somebody.
cup of coffee, water, iced tea,
or milk.
Or milk, yes. Don't forget the milk.
So if you're out there and you're passing by Loralee's on Jackson Pike, stop and ask for a glass of milk.
Yes, and we can even put some chocolate in it for you if you prefer that.
Well,
it doesn't come out that way, but
unless
no,
it's brown cows.
Isn't that the brown cows?
Loralee, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
At 2 o'clock, we have Kim Trout. She's going to be talking about essential oils and the importance. And that's going to be on Mike Thompson's Body Talk show. And then at 3 o'clock, we have Voice of Rio with Dr. Michelle Johnston, president here at the University of Rio Grande, talking with
Dr. Bill Dingus.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's the executive director of the Point Industrial Park and Lawrence Economic Development Corporation. So I want to thank our listening audience. Please keep us tuned. I'm Patrick.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Loralee.
Thank you for listening.